Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are cracking the code on what makes a song absolutely blow up. This isn't about luck anymore, not by a long shot. We're in an era where virality can be, well, engineered, and we're going to dive into exactly how it's done.
You know, for decades, the path to stardom was pretty clear. You had to get past a handful of gatekeepers, and R reps, radio programmers, major labels. But as this quote makes crystal clear, that whole system, it's basically crumbled. And the power, it hasn't just shifted, it's been totally flipped on its head. It's in the hands of creators now.
So that leads to the million-dollar question, right? If the old system is dead and gone, what took its place? In a world where millions of songs are being uploaded every single year, how does an artist actually get heard? I mean, this is the puzzle every single artist out there is trying to piece together.
So what we're seeing is this huge shift, right? We've gone from this top-down world where just a few powerful people decided what you listen to something that's totally bottom-up. Today, it's all about things like algorithmic discovery, user-generated content, viral challenges, and these incredibly short, unbelievably catchy hooks.
And that brings us to the new gatekeeper. And spoiler alert, it's not some person in a fancy corner office, it's the algorithm. Platforms like TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts, these are the most powerful A&R reps on the entire planet right now. And understanding how they work, that's the first and most crucial step.
Okay, so this is a super important idea to get your head around, passive discovery. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you actively searched for new music? Most of us just stumble upon it while we're scrolling. Your song becomes the soundtrack to someone's funny video, a dance, or just a little moment in their life. This changes everything, because you're not just marketing a song anymore, you're marketing a sound that can fit right into someone else's content.
And here's the thing, you can't treat these platforms the same way. They're all different beasts. On TikTok, it is all about the loop rate, getting people to watch it again and again. For YouTube Shorts, it's about making sure people don't swipe away and it favors newer content. And over on Instagram Reels, things like visual aesthetics and a user's watch history are king. A one-size-fits-all strategy? It just doesn't work.
All right, so understanding the platform, that's half the battle. The other half is actually engineering a song that the algorithm is built to love. Seriously, this isn't just songwriting anymore. It's practically sonic engineering.
So people have actually studied this, and they've broken down what makes a clip pop off in just the first 3 seconds. First up, you need that initial transient, some kind of punchy sound to stop the scroll in its tracks. Then you need rhythmic syncopation to make it feel super catchy and loopable. The lyrics need a really strong, relatable point of view, a semantic POV, so users can imagine it in their own lives. And finally, a solid harmonic groove that just makes them want to hear it over and over.
Okay, now check this out. This one kind of blew my mind. Research has found that the average tempo for a #1 hit last year was just 87 beats per minute. That's a pretty big slowdown. So what does that tell us? It points to this big trend. Music is becoming less about making you dance and more about just setting a mood. You know, the perfect atmospheric backdrop for someone's 15-second story.
Okay, if you take away one thing, let it be this. Your lyrics need to have utility. Think of them like a tool, something people can use to express themselves. When you write a line that perfectly captures a feeling, like 3 a.m. thoughts or Monday motivation, you're basically handing them a template to create their own content. And just like that, they become your decentralized marketing team.
Okay, so you've engineered the perfect hook. Now what? How do you actually launch this thing? Let's get into the tactical playbook for triggering all those systems we've been talking about. So if you're an indie artist today, where are you putting your time and energy? Let's look at the breakdown. The biggest slice of that pie, a whopping 40%, is all about sparking user-generated content. Things like trends and challenges. That's followed by influencer marketing, then some paid ads, and finally that super important 10% for direct fan engagement, which, as we'll see, is the key to having a real career.
Now, when it comes to working with influencers, the name of the game is authenticity. You've got to get this right. First, don't just look at follower counts. Find creators whose audience actually lines up with your music. Frame your pitch as a creative partnership, not just a pay transaction. And when they post, amplify their work. And finally, track your metrics. Did their video actually lead to more streams, more followers? The data will tell you the story.
All right, let's talk about paid ads, because this is where so many artists waste a ton of money. You've got to ask yourself one simple but critical question before you spend a dime. Who are you actually trying to reach?
Okay, here's the secret sauce. A standard traffic campaign on a platform like Meta is designed to find clickers. It finds people who just love to click on links, but they might not stick around to actually listen. It's a leaky funnel. But a conversion campaign? That uses a little tracking pixel to find people who actually take an action, like listening to your song on a streaming service. You're targeting converters, not just clickers. It's a total game changer.
All right, you did it. The song went viral. Champagne's popping, numbers are climbing. But now what? Because a viral moment, that's just a flash in the pan. How do you turn that lightning in a bottle into a real, sustainable career? This is the final, and honestly, the most important piece of this whole puzzle.
You have to think of it like a funnel, right? A journey you're taking people on. It all starts on TikTok with that casual, passive discovery. Then, the goal is to get them to the next step, to actually go look up the full song on Spotify or Apple Music. But here's the most important part. Don't stop there. The final step is to move them off those platforms and into a community that you own, like a Discord server or an email list. That's how you turn a casual listener into a true fan.
And really, what this all comes down to is building a cultural footprint. A single viral hit is just a moment in time. A real career, that's built on consistency and forging a real connection with an audience that's going to stick around for the long haul.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The artists who are really winning right now, they get it. They understand that music isn't just an art form anymore. It's a system, a song and a strategy, built from the ground up to be triggered by these new algorithmic gatekeepers. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you just making art or are you building a system?